Hey everybody, this is Dynamic64 and welcome to a reaction video to something that isn't just an episode that's going up on Daily Motion. Oh my god. It's been a long time since I've just done a normal reaction. I did one to the unaired pilot for Gravity Falls, but you know, that was a long time ago and I really want to do more of these because watching something that isn't an episode and just being able to sit down and watch a simple YouTube video really isn't something I have a lot of time for. So when I do get the time to do it, I really want to do it just so that I can watch something, because not doing this has really just moved me away from the fandom a lot more, and I haven't been able to watch a lot of fandom created stuff, just so that it's just really took me away from the fandom a lot. Even though I've been in a lot of other fandoms, this is one that really means a lot to me, and if I'm not involved with, then you know, I don't want to lose it, I really don't. So anyway, this is going to be a reaction to a Grimdark reading from a friend of mine, yeah. And this is called I See You, MLP Grimdark reading, so yeah. I'm doing Creepypasta reading. How weird is that? I haven't actually... I don't know, I honestly thought this was something really weird to react to just because it's a reading, but I want to watch this, you know, and I want to do it with you guys because it's pretty cool. Now, this is for something that this guy's doing called the Month of Macabre. I don't even know how to pronounce that word. Macabre, macabre, I don't know, bro. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this actually. I've been meaning to watch some of his videos for a long time, but hopefully I can just sit down and watch it right now and hopefully do it for a lot of other stuff. There's other stuff I've been meaning to react to. I need to continue scooter tricks and I need to get back into cinema sins, so hopefully we can do that at some point. But anyway, let's go ahead and get right into this video. 3, 2, 1. Okay, and we have a fancy looking intro. And the door opening that reminds me a lot of Resident Evil. Nice reference there, at least I hope they were trying to reference that, I'm not too sure. That had to be Resident Evil, right? Okay, disturbing content. And some awkward scraping. Scraping.
Apple Bloom laid in her bed.
Surprised that didn't jump scare me.
Stay as still as possible.
And it's an Apple Bloom story.
She was awoken by a sound.
Well, she's dead.
Something was moving in her room. It sounded like some sort of scraping, as if claws were dragged against wood. She wanted to get up and look to see what made the odd noise, but the more she thought about it, the less that option seemed like the safest choice. Now, she doesn't dare move. Quickly, she glanced at the clock on the table beside her. It was midnight. Big Mac and Granny Smith were at the doctor's office that night. Big Mac thought he had sprained something while bugging apples and had gone to get it checked. They had left a few hours ago and would probably be gone all night.
How
Sister
convenient.
had to stay to take care of her. So maybe Applejack had made the noise. She could have gotten up, maybe to check on something outside or to get a snack. Or the noise could possibly have been Winona, her dog. But
I don't know, I seem to see more like horror stories or creepypastas revolving around the Apple family more than anyone else.
sick the day before. Fluttershy.
I mean, you got stuff like Sweet Apple Massacre, and there's a couple of others that just...
However,
A lot of the ones that I've read revolve around the Apple family.
Sounded so
Never mind Pinkamena.
She needed to find out what it was, but she didn't exactly know how without getting out of her bed. This was currently not an option.
This clock in the background is really starting to put me on edge, though.
Just sit and wait. A few minutes passed.
The
and
birds
she
are starting to annoy me in the background.
maybe it left, or maybe it was waiting for her to fall asleep. There was no positive way to tell, but she couldn't just let it stay there. Her family could be in trouble, and if she stayed where she was, then they would stay asleep, and maybe if she didn't do anything, they would never wake up. A few more minutes passed, and she knew there was no other way. She gathered all of the confidence she could, and turned her head to face her closet and her doorway. She didn't see anything, but it was too dark to really tell. A tear ran down her face, and she peered back at the doorway nervously.
Just like in the image.
Seeing the edges of her room to make progress. She looked at the table beside her. Not only was her clock on it, but so was her lamp. She reached a trembling...
Not gonna lie, the birds in the background are actually starting to freaking annoy me, though. Clock's still putting me on edge, though.
To reach it. She felt her hoof touch the cold metal and quickly turned it on. She spun on her bed, and her gaze flew across the room. Despite what she had expected, everything seemed complete. There's something in the mirror. There was a black, shadowy figure that practically consumed the wall on the other side of her bed. It had small, beady red eyes, with long, ravenous fangs dripping with saliva. And was that blood on its teeth? Applebloom blinked, and it had vanished. She scanned the room, and especially the wall beside her. It was as if nothing had happened, but she knew that wasn't true.
I mean, if it's in the mirror, it sounds like the pony version of Bloody Mary.
Table. After sifting through old newspaper pages she had kept and pictures of her family and friends, she found what she was looking for. She pulled out an old kerosene lantern along with a bottle of oil and closed the drawer. She blew the dust off of it and filled the lantern with the fuel. She quickly lit the lamp and took its handle into her mouth. Slowly, she walked over to the door and glanced out at the hallway. On her right were the stairs that led to the living room, and to her left was a dark hallway that led to her family's rooms. She stepped outside of her room and heard a deafening crack and glass shattering. Suddenly, all of the light in her room expired. She was plunged into darkness with nothing but her faint lantern light to illuminate her surroundings. She rolled around to face her room. She bit down hard on the lantern's handle to stop from screaming. Her lamp was in pieces on the floor. It looked as if the light bulb inside it had erupted. She needed to get her family awake, and fast.
Or, you know, better idea, Applebloom, just get the hell out of there.
She walked timidly forward.
Honestly, I mean, it's kind of true. I mean, if I was Applebloom, I'd just get out of there. Don't bother helping the family. As awful as that sounds.
The door creaked open before she could even touch it. Gently, she pushed the door wide open enough to step in. She yelled out her sister's name in the murky blackness of the room. She stepped into the room with fear and over to her sister's bed. She saw Applejack laying in her bed, abnormally still. No breathing could be heard besides her own panicked breath.
Okay, so Applejack's dead.
Side, facing away from Applebloom. She slowly laid a hoof on Applejack's shoulder. Her body was terribly cold. She lightly
she's dead.
Yet her sister did not respond. Her hoof began to shake as a shiver began to take hold of her. She gently
This would make a great animation, though.
Her. Applebloom let out an ear-piercing wail and barely kept the lantern in her mouth as she backed away from the bed. Applejack had a deep gash running down her forehead to her muzzle, and blood was pooling around her body. Her jaw was completely dislocated and hung freely from her skull. Applebloom bolted out of the room and ran down the hallway to the stairs. Once she made it into the living room, she sprinted to the door. She attempted to turn the doorknob, but it wouldn't budge. Applebloom cried out for help desperately and begged for the door to open.
It's at this point that you smash through the window and run for glory.
She fiercely tried to pry it open, but it too remained tightly shut. She turned around, preparing to sprint to the other rooms. But
no, of course not. Smashing the window would not work.
She began to sob.
Why not?
She started frantically searching the room for anything that could possibly help, but she found nothing. She slowly walked over and sat down on her bed. Her sobs shook her body, and she wished it was all just a nightmare. The small flame inside her lantern went out, and she knew she was terribly wrong. She was too late. The young filly sat in the darkness of her room, a dead lantern beside her. Her sister gone forever, and the rest of her family blissfully ignorant of the horror inside their home. The filly glanced at the clock on her bedside table. It had stopped ticking and was forever stuck at midnight. She sighed in defeat and turned her sorrowful gaze toward the darkness inside her open closet. The darkness gazed back and grinned.
Time's up.
Wow, poor Apple Bloom. Okay. Okay, that was a simple and very creepy ass story. Applejack was dead, Apple Bloom didn't even bother trying to jump out of the window. I don't know why. I get that the window was closed, but I mean jumping out of it, unless it was like an electronic window or an automatic one, but that's... no. I don't know, but, you know, it's kind of hard to not fall into, like, the horror tropes, which this story obviously did. But honestly, I enjoyed the reading, actually, and the guy who actually reads it actually does it really creepily. I actually applaud him for that one. Well done. And hopefully I can react to more of these month of macabre... I still can't pronounce that word. Don't ask me to, okay? But overall, I really enjoyed this, actually. I do like creepypasta reading. Again, one thing I will say is that it's very hard for me to get into, like, creepypasta reading videos because... whoops. Knocked my table. It's kind of hard for me to actually enjoy the person, unless I actually really like the person or know the person or just enjoy the person who's reading it, because I watch like Some Ordinary Gamers who does like creepypasta readings, you know. I enjoy that because I've been with that guy and I've watched that guy for a very long time. I enjoy watching this guy's videos because I know him. I talk to him personally, so yeah. But as for like others, like Mr. Creepypasta, like The Lost Narrator, I don't watch The Lost Narrator because I don't really enjoy her that much. I don't really enjoy her content too much, and I don't really, you know, have that passion to really watch her videos so much. So that's kind of why I don't really watch many creepypasta videos much in my own time. I mean, I have to really enjoy the person actually reading them, or I have to really enjoy the story. I mean, I'll watch any reading that involves Sonic.exe or Ben Drowned any day, or the Tales doll, but overall I enjoyed this one, and hopefully there'll be more to come. And if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.